gentlemen of the internet. How are you doing this evening? I hope you're enjoying a wonderfully joyous week, like I am. And this momentous, beautiful win for America and the world. It truly is astounding how much change is already happening, like flipping a switch. Stock market is going crazy on the anticipation of President Trump being president, which he is soon in January, 75 days. And the reason why is because of futures and other financial market items, which clearly have to do with deregulation mostly, and tax cuts that will be coming, extending the Trump tax cuts for one thing, which were set to run out, and Biden had no plans to renew them. The other wonderful item is deregulation. Joe Biden got rid of Trump's deregulation policies with executive orders, and they're going to go right back. Trump has already announced that. And that means, according to what the media says, tax cuts for corporations and billionaires, which is true. That is true. But the media never tells you the most important part of that. The billionaires own the corporations and companies that do the hiring. So, job growth, come on. These companies that do the hiring won't hire people if they have to make bigger tax cuts and have to pay more money to the government. So it's very simple math. The Democrats just like to use that as some kind of tool with voters. Trump's making the rich richer. He's a billionaire making billionaires money. Well, that is not accurate. It is, but not in the way they say it. Because if you do like they want to do in New York and California, and you tax all of these companies more to, quote, pay their fair share, which is code word for jacking tax revenue to pay for social programs and paying for immigrants and all the other bullshit, then these companies pack up and leave. When you do it on a state level, they pack up and move to Florida and Texas, like we have seen. A lot of companies have left New York. A lot of companies have left California. Big oil refinery company that's been in California for 147 years finally packed up and left because they couldn't take it anymore. It was no longer a good business proposition for them. And now California is going to lose out on billions of dollars in taxes. But that's their problem. This company's moving to Texas. So that is what happens with these stupid people who do stupid things. And guess what happens when the company leaves? It takes the thousands of jobs from people that lived in California still live there, and now they've lost their jobs. Now they can pack up and move to Texas with the company. A lot of them may very well do that. But this stuff only hurts people. It doesn't help them. So Democrats learned a hard lesson Tuesday night by losing so badly. And remember, I said it on my walks. I said, the Democrats not only have to lose, they have to lose big. They have to lose very badly to get the message. Well, that has happened, but there's always a but with these people. I'm going to flip the camera around. Hi, everybody. Hope you are enjoying your evening tonight. The reason why I say but is 2016, when Hillary got beaten because Trump appealed to the working class in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, which is what happened Tuesday, the Democrat Party was going to change. They changed their messaging, arguably, okay, let's just say arguably, to win in 2020. I still don't believe that's accurate. We still got 21 million votes that mysteriously didn't show up in this election. And I find that hard to believe, that many people hate Trump so much that they want to starve and not be able to pay their rent. But hey, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, we won. Fair and square. So anyway, what does this mean? Well, it means these companies know that they're going to be deregulated again like they were before. Cash flow is going to be better. And what's going to happen, combined with energy production increases, prices are going to go down. Because these people that Democrats have they're not good, okay? They went to Harvard, and they went to these places, and they're hardcore socialist liberals, and that's what the Democrats used, and that's why we have the problems we have. It wasn't because of a pandemic. It was because of inflationary spending by an irresponsible cabinet and administration. So, we're going to get back on track here. We get some of the world's best people that are going to be working with Trump. And the biggest thing that Trump just did was announce the White House Chief of Staff, Susie. Susie's been with Trump for many years. She's been through the trenches with him with all the lawfare. She kept everything going, and she won this campaign for Trump. She's a very well-organized person. She worked in the White House for Ronald Reagan. She's got experience. She's very intelligent. Despite the Mark Cubans of the world saying Trump doesn't surround himself with intelligent women. And so we'll be good in that front. We'll be well organized. It's not going to be like 2016 when Trump went in there with Ryan Priebus, who was a good guy, but he didn't have the same kind of experience that Susie has. And we should be okay, folks. So with that, Trump's going to boost energy production, and we're already getting economic boon from that, where thus far we are going to see some really good gains globally, where the EU has already announced today that they're looking to cut their oil buying ties with Russia because they have been bound to buy from Russia because of the Biden administration. Because the Biden administration is doing stupid things. Because of climate and climate booga booga booga. Well, that's all gone now, obviously. And the American people have spoken, and people are listening. And because of that, what we have is the EU announcing that they're going to be buying their oil from the United States. So this is big, okay? They couldn't come out and say it, but they wanted Trump to win. They just did, okay? So now we won. We did. We're gonna do excellently, okay? We'll be okay. So I just picked up 2 jugs. I got 2 jugs, one for each of you. That is from Tombstone. But anyway, I picked up 2 jugs for shooting. Call that shoot cycling. They will be shot. Don't know if it will be this weekend, but we'll see what happens. The other possibility tonight, because of shoot cycling, is I'm going to have to carry these and my hands are going to get wet, because I think we're going to get rained on by the end of this walk. But that's okay. That's okay. Everything is right with the world today. I don't mind a little rainwater. I'm not going to melt. So I'm going to carry these 2 empty jugs with me while I walk, and we'll be okay. So anyway, Trump has been president-elect for 2 days. Today's the 3rd day, technically. He has had phone conversations with many world leaders already. He's lining everything up, telling them what his plans are. And it seems like the left is very upset. They're very upset. They're melting down, in fact. Because we had Zelensky reportedly spoke with Trump today, and I guess the left is upset because supposedly I gotta keep my eye on traffic. I'm sorry, that's why I'm stuttering and not speaking. Zelensky spoke with Elon Musk on the phone. The New York Times wants to know what they talked about. What did they talk about? Well, I can already tell you without knowing that it has to do with Ukraine rebuilding, because there will be peace. And so Elon Musk with Starlink, which is internet access. I'm sure Elon Musk is going to help them out and get the people that, once there's peace, they're going to need information, they're going to need news, they're going to need internet, phone communications. So Starlink is going to be a big deal. And that's the benefit of Elon Musk. I don't know how the media is going to spin that. I really could care less. They are so irrelevant right now. I don't think they understand how much they failed, how badly they failed, and how badly they failed the country. And they lost. Mainstream media, if you're watching, the American people proved overwhelmingly in the election they don't fucking believe you. Nothing you had to say or sell resonated with anybody. The country knows you are full of shit. You don't do media anymore. You work for Democrats. And you're fucked. You're fucked. You broke your product, you ruined it, and people are never going to go back to it. So, in the words of Elon Musk, go fuck yourself. No, really. Go fuck yourself. So that's what happened Tuesday night. Trump broke everything. Broke everybody. And that's what happened. So they're going to have to take a nice dose of copium and get on with it. I watched a video today with about a dozen young people losing their friggin' minds today, having fits, crying, screaming, kicking their feet. They're just going to have to cope. They've been told by the media that Trump is Hitler and their rights are gone forever, and they're doing what most people would do if that was actually the case. They're losing their friggin' minds over it. So make no mistake, there are some angry radical people out there that are going to have a fit, probably try to do something stupid. That is going to happen. We can't do anything about that. The Democrats and media took advantage of weak-minded people, and that's going to be the result. So the results are not going to change. There is a pretty large calling of people that want to have Trump locked up because, you know, New York sentencing by Merchant, November 26th, I believe. I thought it was the 27th, but apparently it's the 26th. Is not under the federal pardon. So Trump cannot pardon himself from that. He cannot really do anything about that on the federal level. And Letitia James has been pushing lawfare against Trump when he's president, having to do with immigrants and immigration law and things like that with New York. So everything with New York is going to be kicking and scratching from angry, butt-sore Democrats. And Mayor Adams in New York had a pretty lengthy phone call with Trump. And guess what he did after the phone call? New York City is no longer going to be funding food for these immigrants like they were. And they're no longer going to be given these food cards. Trump said that's going to end. And basically, I'm sure he told Adams that you're going to play along with that, because if you don't, you're going to lose your school funding, you're going to lose this, you're going to lose federal money for that. And New York City is already broke. And just like that, Mayor Adams cut off all the food for these illegals. I don't know what the illegals are going to do. But that's not the American taxpayer's problem. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris brought them in, and that money is going to end. So we're already getting paid dividends from our vote, and I'm enjoying this. He's not even a week elected yet, and we're already seeing big changes. Now, a lot of people are going to pressure Merchant in New York to not sentence Trump. And but you know, here's the thing, there's going to be a backroom deal with somebody like Jamie Raskin or the Democrats, because if, and I'll get to the House in a minute, if the Democrats should win the House, they're going to try to pass legislation making it illegal to have a criminal record and hold office. There's going to be a court battle over that if they succeed in doing that. Because the Constitution does not mention that as criteria for being president. So I don't think that would hold any water constitutionally. And hi, we did it. I won. So I'm got a Trump supporter on the porch there. So They're not going to go happily. They're going to go kicking and screaming. It's going to be all for naught, though, and absolutely guarantee you that Merchant in New York is going to cave under the pressure. He's not going to sentence Trump if he knows what's good for him, because that could be a big deal that blows up in his face. We're already seeing what's-his-face in charge of the Fed, when asked if Trump asked him to step down, if he was going to resign, and he said, no, I don't have to do that. Now, the Fed is supposed to be under executive administration, under the executive branch. So you're telling me that the President of the United States cannot fire the guy in charge of the Fed? Well, Congress can change that very quickly, and they will. And that was the wrong answer given by the head of the Fed today. So, he claims to be nonpartisan. Apparently Trump doesn't believe him, and neither do I, because he did that Fed rate cut before the election to try to help out Kamala in October. I don't know if you remember that. So that's all stuff we're going to have to deal with. But other big news, okay? Other big news. Big news, big news. Hamas has announced that they want peace. They want to end this conflict. So they know Trump is not going to fuck around, because Hamas will be fucking dealt with harshly in the name of peace. So Joe Biden has declined to get involved because of an election, which obviously it didn't matter, because Kamala had her ass kicked anyway. And now Hamas sees how badly what's-her-face Kamala lost. They want peace, because they know they're not going to get any fucking bullshit from Trump. So already within 3 days, we have the EU buying oil from the United States. We have the stock market going absolutely berserk. And it's in a good way, okay? The stock market going berserk in a good way means that these companies, knowing that they're going to be deregulated, are going to start increasing production, which is going to increase the economy, the real economy, okay? We're talking about jobs and pay raises for employees that they haven't been getting under Biden because of the tax burden. So people should make more money, and there should be more jobs. Energy production will go up. We're going to give about 6 months for that. Start kicking in after Trump is sworn in. So it's going to be a little while, but it's coming, okay? It took about 6 months after Biden signed his bullshit to send fuel prices through the roof. So Trump is going to be ready to go first day. He also said he was going to be getting pardons ready for J6 prisoners, political prisoners who are non-violent. That's the stipulation with that, okay? Non-violent. If somebody picked up a piece of fencing and hit an officer with it, committed assault, I don't want Trump to pardon those people. But on the other hand, a lot of the sentencing they got for assault had domestic terrorist charges tacked on, and instead of getting 10 years, they got 40. So there will have to be a pretty big news announcement ahead of time to clarify their reasoning. And as I'm feeling a couple of sprinkles while I'm walking, so I'm sure the Trump team will take care of that properly. And it's starting to rain. I don't mind getting wet if you're a first-time watcher of my walks. I'm not made of sugar. I'm not going to melt. It certainly is not freezing cold. It is chilly though. Some of this snow, rain in the mountains today was actually snow in western Maine. But I don't anticipate we're going to get snowflakes, but we could. We could. It is going to go down in the low 40s tonight. Probably be just rain. Typically 38 degrees and colder. We could get snow, but we're not that cool yet. So, anyway, we are going to go shooting tomorrow. It's supposed to have nice weather. It's going to be a little chilly. It's going to be in the 40s. Hopefully not windy. And so anyway, that's all I got about shooting tomorrow. Probably going to shoot 45 ACP, some 9mm, 223. The usual suspects, a lot of 22s, and it'll be fun. So I like what has happened in just 3 days. Just 3 days of losing the election for Kamala Harris. Trump is not fucking around this time, I'll tell you that much. He is on it. So we're very much looking forward to that. And at least I am. So, we will march on, pick up the pieces from a very hard-fought campaign. It's just really nice to see my vote doing something already. It's a damn good feeling, as I'm sure you can understand. So, I'm very excited for very obvious reasons. This is going to be a golden age for America, and I think we're going to do so good with Trump in office that we should do well in 2028. We'll be in a good position for that. Nothing's guaranteed, but I don't think 4 years will be enough time for Democrats to recover from this debacle. And the reason why I say that is nobody believes the media anymore. They just don't believe them. And Trump's going to have a good economy. People are going to be making money. Inflation will go down. People will be able to afford to buy things again. And it's going to be proof in the pudding. And basically, though, most of this is going to be up to the Republican House, which, by the way, we have not won yet. We got 211 seats out of the 218 we need, with probably about a whole crap ton of seats left, most of which are going to be Democrat. But right now the Democrats are pretty far behind on the House. So most of these come out of California, because California is a big state. That's why Trump went there. That's why he did a rally there. And so this is going to be a big deal. 2020, we didn't know who won the House until almost Thanksgiving. 2018, we didn't know that the Democrats won the House until after Thanksgiving. So that seems to be the current trend. So we're probably not going to know if the Republicans win the House until another week. Hopefully. Maybe sooner. I mean, we only need 7 more seats. 5 of those that I'm following look like the Republicans should win those. and other ones have only counted about 60 to 70% of the vote. But a couple of those are 10, 15,000 vote advantage in a small county in Southern California. That's pretty big. So I would anticipate, as the wind is picking up, as you can see, and it's raining pretty good right now. Should be brief, hopefully. If not, then I'm going to get wet, but like I said, I'm not going to melt. We will survive. We survived the media machine and the Democrats' $1 billion that Kamala had, which, by the way, you know what? I was researching that today. Kamala Harris's $1 billion that she had is gone. They spent all of it. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell did they spend it on? They spent it on Bon Jovi, Taylor Swift, Cardi B, all of these celebrities that they had show up and campaign for her. They were all compensated. I'm sure they were very well paid. Lucky them. So they blew through $1 billion, folks. $1 billion. So there you have it. That's the tale of the Democrats in 2024. Overfunded, bloated, old establishment. They pulled all of the same Hillary tricks that Hillary lost from. Nobody learned anything. They pulled out the Trump supporters are Nazis card. He's Hitler. Celebrity endorsements. They pulled out the concerts with famous people. And the only Democrat that has made any sense whatsoever was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. He said the Democrats are going to have to revamp and redo everything. And they got to get rid of this woke politics. Problem is, I don't think they can. They can't. They invested so many years in it, starting when Hillary ran, remember? And this all started with Obama. So they have, you know, almost 20 years of it now. And it's gotten completely out of hand to the point, and yeah, 20 years. You had 2 terms of Obama, okay? More like 16 years. 9 years of it with Trump, going on 10. And you had 2 Obama terms. And the media started going that way then. And everything changed when the Iraq War started, 2004. That is when I really remember the media choosing sides. And you started seeing all the weblogs blow up. Vlogging, remember that? Weblog. Not vlogging, but blogs. It's short for weblog. Weblog. So that's when a lot of the independent media, people like Matt Drudge. Matt Drudge, famously, is the one that broke the Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton story. And so he was one of the bigger names during the Iraq War. He was conservative, which after Trump came out of office, Matt Drudge sold the Drudge Report because now it is all far left propaganda. So I hope he got rich on that. Probably did. So, well, things keep changing. The more they change, the more they stay the same. So we're back here again with stupid wars going on. Democrats in power, who are now the warmongers. The party of peace is now Republicans. Party of common sense and the party of rebels. So many new faces of young people that joined the Republican Party in the past 4 years because of woke politics. They have to go to school. They have to go to these schools and workplaces and put up with this bullshit, or they lose their job, or they get kicked out of school. So they have to go along with it, and all they have is their vote. And that's what you saw. And the Democrats, you're going to see a brief window in the media, which you're seeing now, but they're still playing the blame game. They are blaming themselves, mainly woke politics and gender ideology is a big one that I've seen them criticizing this week. MSNBC brought Chris Matthews back, and he was talking about this, people are upset that their kids are being transitioned in schools, and the Democratic Party is going to have to change. So you're going to see a brief window where they tell the truth, and then somebody is going to order them to stop doing that, just like they did with Biden's health. They went on this big campaign to talk about how Biden was still sharp as a tack. He's this, he's that. And then he fell apart on the stage, and they had to disown him. And then for a brief 2-week window, they told the truth in the media. Very brief. And then they switched over to Kamala. So the problem with the loss that they have Tuesday is it's so big and gargantuan and so earth-shattering, like Thor's hammer, that they're not going to be able to change the narrative by flipping a switch. And we're going to have fun watching them own their own shit for a while. So enjoy it. Liberal tears taste delicious. Nobody loses like Democrats. So right now, as it is, they're admitting that America has spoken, and they're admitting that it's their own fault. And they are also admitting, instead of, MSNBC, though, they're still blaming, Latino voters. They're blaming them for voting for Trump, like they're not really Latino or something. And that's just what MSNBC does. It's complete garbage. The owner of that network needs to sweep all that garbage out. But they're not gonna, because the top executive for that channel is just as messed up as the people on it. So enjoy your small little clique and stay in your little bubbles. We got a country to save, and we're going to do it. So anyway, eventually they're going to start attacking Trump. It's inevitable, because they have to. You're going to have leakers. Trump has promised to clean up the leakers, and he's also promised to try to get term limits through Congress if they win the House. Personally, I don't think they're going to vote each other out of work. I don't see it. I'll believe it when I see it, but Trump does not have the power to do that. But he does control the Republican Party, and to some degree he's controlling the Democrat Party too, because of that's what I mean. That win Tuesday night was a mandate. That's what they call it. That is emphatically the American people saying, we don't like what the hell the Democrats have been doing, and it needs to change. So I don't know how much change Democrats are going to do. I've already seen some hardcore liberals on TV saying, no, our policies are good. It wasn't our policies that lost. So that's already the wrong answer. We just need to change our messaging. In other words, that's code word for the American people are stupid. We'll just lie to them a different way, and they'll believe what we tell them, because of the media backing them up, which nobody believes anymore. So these people are definitely in hardcore denial right now, and they're gonna have to cope. I'm gonna have to cope and come to terms. So I need to wipe my screen. Sorry about that. It's raining out. I don't know what to tell you. I gotta stop and wipe my screen once in a while. So I am getting wet and it is cold. But I do have a good sweat going because I'm dressed properly. Always layers, folks. Layers, layers, layers. So anyway, I hope you enjoy my walks. I try to be energetic and upbeat, and I try to be honest with you. And I realize that I run over the same ground a lot, literally and figuratively, with the rhetoric. But, you know, think about what we just witnessed. Historic. We're never going to see another Donald Trump in our lifetime, ever, okay? You know, we need to drink it in and enjoy it. Speaking of that, there were 2 breaking news stories today I'm going to cover for a minute, having to do with Trump and security, having to do with assassination attempts. The DOJ finally unsealed charges against an Iranian who has been identified now, who has left the country and has gone to Iran. I don't know how that happened. Sounds to me like the DOJ knew who he was, and this guy evaded capture and left the country. Really don't know how he did that. A lot of questions there, if you ask me. That's from Christopher Wray, who Trump has already said he's going to fire him. And so anyway, this guy went back to Iran, and it was uncovered that he was paid a large sum of money to plot Trump's assassination. He was working on it, and I think their plans were actually interrupted because of the other assassin in Butler, Pennsylvania, because this was going on about the same time in July. You follow? So that assassination attempt got foiled, and it screwed up the plans of the guy from Iran that was going to try one, and he probably would have succeeded because that person knew what he was doing. And he was in the Republican National Guard in Iran, very well trained military people. They have a lot of war experience with Iran in the 80s, 70s. And they have a good military program in Iran. I will give them that. And this guy was sent to America to make up for the Soleimani assassination that Trump did when he was president. So they don't want Trump to be president, and it's too late. So this guy is back in Iran. He will be arrested if he ever leaves the country. And if Biden had any balls, he would target this guy and get rid of him, just to make a point. He's obviously an enemy of our country. It should be sanctioned. It should be done. He's obviously a threat when Trump becomes president. And he is a known terrorist and assassin. So anyway, just my opinion. And the other thing to discuss with that is they arrested a Chinese national trying to get into Mar-a-Lago. And when I first saw that, I was like, okay, well, you know, I guess the Chinese want to kill him too. But then I looked more into it. It's the 5th time this guy's tried to do that. 5th time. They arrested him today. He says that he has information, documents, and proof that the second assassination attempt on Trump was orchestrated by the Chinese government to try to kill Trump. That's what this guy says. And he's a Chinese national. So the simple fact that he said that, unless he's actually working for the Chinese, something like that would get him in a lot of trouble with the Communist Party, who do have operatives here and would take care of him lickety splits. So I just thought I would share that with you. Fox News broke that earlier. So I'd like to know more about the documents that he claims to have, and hopefully somebody will take a look at them at least. But this guy said he had proof. He had documented proof. But could just be a nutbag. Could be anything. Could be somebody just saying that, and he's the one that wants to kill Trump. So, you know, we never know. Point is, he tried to get into Mar-a-Lago again for the 5th time, apparently, which is very shocking to me. Maybe you should arrest more people and actually sentence them to jail or deport them. But we have Biden for president, and they're incompetent. So incompetence is what incompetence does, right? So there we are with that other piece of news for the day. But I am really, really enjoying this. As you can tell by the big face-wide grin on my face. Good times ahead, boys and ladies, boys and girls. We got good times ahead. Now, the other thing I saw is protesting. It's been kind of sparse. I'm sure there's going to be a very big protest this weekend. It's the first weekend after the election. You can usually find this stuff out by going on Facebook, and a lot of these liberal groups will actually have information on it, how to participate, that sort of thing. Now, if a conservative does that, it gets censored. So I'm gonna go snoop around on Facebook. A lot of this stuff gets discussed in groups on Facebook, and I'm also going to snoop around on some other social media, see what I can find. But I would find it hard to believe that Trump won so convincingly Tuesday, and I've seen a bunch of videos online of these young liberals crying about finding a way to get him removed. They're talking about recounts. I'm not talking about official people. I'm talking about people upset that Trump won, okay? Joe Blow on the internet. They want a way to find out to do a recount. There's still 900,000 votes that haven't been counted in the election, which is actually less than that now. But mathematically, they are in places that are not going to change any results at all. So they have this false hope that they're going to find ballots, or find ballots that were invalid. And there's nothing going on with that. There's no recounts announced. It's a done deal. Right now it's about Senate races. I want to congratulate McCormick beating Bob Casey in Pennsylvania. Now we got 53 senators. Very big. So always stay positive about that. Even if, let's say, Trump does not get the House, okay? Congress. Democrats would have a very slim majority, for one thing, but they would control what happens in Congress. And you have to remember, the new speaker is going to be Hakeem Jeffries out of New York. He's even worse than Pelosi. This guy is so far left. He's a Marxist. And people like this are going to do a lot to hurt the Democratic Party. especially if he decides to just raise hell against Trump this whole time. Probably not going to get the votes because, again, they got beat so badly and soundly. Okay, this was such a huge resonating hammer blow that now you got a whole bunch of Democrats that are blue dog Democrats that if they're going to want to, hi doggy. There's a dog unleashed. He's friendly though, he's a puppy. But anyway, so you have a lot of these blue dog Democrats in places that they're not going to get reelected in 2 years if they go crazy. So, in fact, one of those races here in Maine, I'll give you an update. Now, in my last walk, I told you that Ontario had lost. Trump endorsed Ontario, Austin, Ontario. That seems like it was presumptuous on my part. The race has not been called because Austin, Ontario, at the last minute, got enough votes to drag Jared Golden, the incumbent Democrat, under 50% of the vote, which triggers an automatic ranked choice voting. Now, if you remember, I had told you that with the ranked choice voting, that there was only 2 candidates and a write-in. Well, it would appear that the write-in is now going to be counted and distributed in ranked choice voting. As odd as that sounds, and that does not bode well for Jared Golden because there is only one person authorized as a write-in candidate, and that person leans right. Now, I don't know if 1,000 people out of 200,000 voters come up with enough to give the election to Austin, Ontario, the Republican, but wouldn't that be sweet justice to see Austin, Ontario win with ranked choice voting after the Democrats came up with ranked choice voting as a way to cheat using independents because they almost always lean left. Wouldn't that be just the absolute best? So they had this election won, the Democrats, and now they're in a position to lose it because of ranked choice voting. So let's see how they like it. We'll see if it goes that way. What they announced in the news and what I read is that the state police, Maine State Police, were very trusted. They love Trump. And they are going to be in custody of the ballots. The ballots have already been counted for the regular election. Now they have to do the ranked choice voting, which means they have to recount all of them, which means it's going to take another day or 2, maybe longer. And what they do is they go to an undisclosed location. It's kept secret, and it's guarded by the Maine State Police. And the first thing they're going to do, not the Maine State Police, but the people that work for the state, the elections, they are going to go through all of the ballots first and remove all of them where somebody only voted for the write-in and no other candidate. Because a lot of people didn't like either candidate and they just wrote somebody in. So they're going to have to go through all of those and throw them away because the regular votes were already counted. All that matters now is the write-in and what those ranked choices were. So if you're not familiar with Maine ranked choice voting, just Google it. I don't want to explain the whole thing again, but basically what it means is if you have 3 candidates, you can vote for the one you want, and then you can vote for your second choice out of the 3 as a preference. Your first preference is this one, your second is this one, your third is this one. Or you can leave them all blank. Just vote for one, or you can fill in a whole line behind one candidate. It'll count as one vote. So what that means is So you're going to have all of the people that just voted for the write-in and nobody else. Those will get tossed because obviously there's no second choices. Their first choice was the write-in, and that was it. So those will get tossed. And so whoever wrote in that other person that ran, I don't remember their name. I really don't. Probably represents half of 1%, maybe 1% of the vote, which in this is going to mean everything because Ontario is 0.37%. Okay, that's not much. It's 1,000 votes. So this could very well flip red. Could very well flip red. So we'll be watching that one. That will give the Republicans an extra seat in DC. And Jared Golden got himself in trouble when he decided that people shouldn't have AR rifles anymore. Mainers like their firearms. They don't like that tough stuff, that talk. And he's finding that out. He actually changed his mind after he first said it and tried to make it better by saying, well, maybe we should just have people register it. No, that's a gun registry. It's just as bad. So anyway, that's where we are with the Maine election. Angus King won. He had about 51% of the vote. I really thought he was going to get more than that, but the Republican got more votes. Republicans did great across the country this year. So she got more votes, made it a race. And the independent got a certain amount. I think it was 1.7%, and she got whatever's left after 51%. So she made a race of it. If she would have got Angus King under 50%, it would have kicked off ranked choice voting. But it did not. So Donald Trump won this district here by 12 points. A very easy, resounding win in my district. But, as I stated, Kamala Harris ended up getting 3 electoral college votes and Trump got 1. But that's okay, because with the National Popular Vote Compact, which is the electoral college removal, where the Democrats, when it kicks in, when they have enough to get to 270 from the states that agree on it, which I still believe is never going to happen mathematically, because they would have to flip Texas and Florida to even have a chance at that. Basically, if you divvied up your electoral college votes based on the popular vote, which is what they want, Trump would have got all 4 from Maine and Colorado and California. You see how that works? Kamala Harris got 55 electoral college votes from California, and I think there's 10 in Colorado, and that would have been 65 electoral college votes for Trump, because you have to give it to the popular vote winner. So I'm wondering if they're going to rethink that. See, now this is going to be an argument in future states trying to pass that. They're going to have some people now, they're going to say, but what if Trump wins, or somebody like him? They understand that Trump's not going to be the candidate anymore. But, you know, what's the new normal? Is the new normal Republicans are now going to be in the driver's seat? So I think a lot of this electoral college crap is going to die down a little bit because of what Trump did, because people are going to realize that Trump would have, you know, out of the 538 electoral college votes, Trump would have got most of them. Just, you know, simple math, right? In other words, it would not matter what your voters chose in your state. And that was the argument from Republicans that didn't want it. So, you know, if I felt like Democrats are going to win the White House, get our electoral college votes because Democrats will win the popular vote all the time, I'd have to seriously consider whether or not I should vote. My vote wouldn't matter. It would for local stuff. It would still matter for Congress, Senate, but the presidential wouldn't matter. And, you know, they can't do that to people. Can you imagine how angry Democrats would be today if they had that in place and Trump won like he did Tuesday? Do they really think that's a good idea to do? I don't think so. So that's the thing with these Democrats. They don't know when to quit until you shove it right up their fucking ass. Excuse my French. But I feel good. I feel so good, folks. I feel good. I feel like walking, dancing a jig, right? So, pretty awesome. We should all be doing the Trump dance. So anyway, you know, very exciting. If you're not smiling today, then I don't know what's wrong with you. This is really good. This is really good. So anyway, we have the chute cycling jugs. Carrying them on my entire walk because they don't weigh anything really. I just hook them around my finger and my thumb like this while I'm walking. We'll walk up this way. Took the Trump signs in. A neighbor had a whole crap load of Trump signs. Took his in. His and hers, I should say. And we took ours in. And so everything's back to normal. And all is right with the world. All is right with the world again, folks. Yes. Yes. When it was announced that Trump won, it was Pennsylvania. I think it was around 3 o'clock in the morning. I went out in my driveway, took a couple deep breaths. I pumped my fist in the air. And I was like, yes, yes, we did it. I remember how good that felt in 2016. This feels just as good. It feels much sweeter this time because of all the fucking bullshit they did. All of the lawfare, all of the calling us domestic terrorists and Nazis. And somebody just went by with a dark MAGA hat. Pretty cool. Wish I had seen him earlier. I would have said hi to him. So, people are wearing their stuff. Well, it's not raining right now. The sky looks like it's clearing up. It is going to get cooler overnight, though. It is going to be chilly tomorrow. But we're walking on. I got a dark part I need to walk through with no street light. But I'm going to have the camera in my hand. I'm going to flip the camera around instead of you seeing my face. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my flashlight just underneath the camera. I think that'll work okay. So anyway, we're just about 4 miles right now. Somewhere thereabouts. So awesome! We did really good. I was really drinking it in today, boy. Oh my God, this is so good. Liberal tears are delicious. Delicious and nutritious. So anyway, I picked up a couple of laundry jugs. Shoot cycling. These are always really good to shoot. And these people here had a whole bunch of truck stuff on their lawn. It's all picked up too. So people have picked up all their stuff. Everything's back to normal. And right now, what I was alluding to earlier is that we have a whole bunch of rabid liberals who are very fucking angry. I've seen all kinds of videos today, people in their cars, people in their bathrooms, yelling in the mirror, filming themselves, screaming, crying, wishing death on Trump voters. I've seen a lot of weird stuff today, so what I'm telling you is keep your freaking head on a swivel, at least until after Trump is sworn in. I'm not joking. Wear your Trump gear at your own risk. And I mean that sincerely. This is when we're going to start seeing people in the media getting run over by a car going by and killed because they were wearing a Trump hat or something like that. It's not going to be widespread, but I can guarantee you this is the first weekend coming up after their big embarrassing loss. They're angry, they're upset. And what do you think they're going to do this weekend protesting? I hope there's no violence. But on the other hand, if they are going to do that and smash storefronts, I hope they do that, because at this point it's not going to help the Democrats. They just lost because people are sick of that shit. So if they go ahead and do that, that's going to come back on them, I think. So once people realize that Trump is the president and he's not going anywhere, they're just going to have to deal with it. Now, I will give credit to the Democrats. Kamala Harris and Biden both said that we have to keep fighting, but there was a peaceful transfer of power. Trump won the election. It was fair, and we're not going to dispute the election results, is what they said. So apparently they've already gotten the memo that I don't think Democrats are going to do anything to try to obstruct the electorate, the Electoral College. I don't think they're going to do that because they understand they accused Trump of doing that, and they're going to look like hypocrites, and it's going to hurt them, which it will. So now if the election was close, Trump had just squeaked through, and they could start claiming Russia helped them again and all this other bullshit, you know. And, you know, I personally, Trump won by so much that they're not going to be able to do that. So that's just the way it is, folks. This was really good. He had to win big, really big, and he did. This was the best case scenario. This emphatically says, you fucking lost. Get over it. So that's where we are right now on that. I think we are going to see some crying, pissing, and moaning this weekend. Hopefully, like I said, you know, protest all you want. Don't commit any violence. As soon as you're sitting down in the road blocking commerce, these people need to be arrested immediately with no bullshit, and you know, and no violence. If they start doing any violence, and that's the other thing I like about Trump too. Before the election, he made sure his followers were not going to be violent. There's going to be no violence. So they got nothing to complain about. But they'll find something. They'll find something to complain about. They usually do. So we'll be ready. We'll be ready. And if you're in a big city and you're worried about things, well, just stay home, see how things shake out. Put on some good movies, play some records, whatever. I'll follow anything going on the internet. So, anyway, not too bad. Well, hell, right? Things could always be worse. I'm going to enjoy when he is sworn in. My prediction for Mershon in New York is he's going to say, because the Trump lawyers had submitted the opportunity for the judge to dismiss this case because it's going to go on appeal. He has the opportunity to end this before it does go on appeal. And realistically, what this judge in New York would have to do is, you have to remember, Trump doesn't have a criminal record. And these were misdemeanor offenses strung together to make a felony. Typically, there would be no jail time for most people. So, if he decides to put Trump in jail, he would have to explain to the country that just won a major election. And that would force, I really believe that would force Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, to pardon Trump. Because she would have to. And I think Mershon is going to be aware of that, if he hasn't spoken with somebody already. And he has the opportunity to say that this is probably going to lose on appeal anyway. And he can even issue a statement that, I don't believe that should happen, but given the election and, the appellate court, he can come up with whatever angle he wants to get out of this. But basically, he's the one that caused this mess, this judge. And President of the United States has a lot of power. It would do him very well he probably honestly does not believe Trump won. He probably cannot believe it. And he's like, oh my God, really? What do I do now? So, because I think if Kamala had won this election, Trump would be sentenced to jail. And because of national security, though, I believe he would be sentenced to be at Mar-a-Lago under house arrest with an ankle bracelet, needing permission to leave his property to go anywhere, which would be terrible for Trump at his age with his money. So, but he won. So the other legal stuff going on right now is Jack Smith has submitted officially a way to end these cases and charges against Trump for the insurrection and all this other stuff. So those are going to go away because it's against Department of Justice policy to try to prosecute somebody that is president-elect. So those are going to be gone. So that's all I got tonight for news and info. So crazy times. I'm sure we're going to have entertainment coming our way. We have some entertainment coming our way. And I'm going to flip the camera around for safety purposes, because oops, I dropped my jug. Dropped it again. Damn thing's slippery. Well, because we have I'll situate this in a minute. Because I got my damn hands full. All right. As you can see, it is rather precarious for me to do this. There we go. See what I did here? I'm going to carry the camera here, and I have my flashlight pointing at the ground in front of me. That'll do two things. That frees up my right hand to carry my two jugs. Yeah. Shoot cycling. And I can also carry this in front of me for safety's sake. Trying to make sure I point the camera at where I'm walking so it looks good for you. I think I'm getting this okay. Looks good so far. So, that's where we are right now with everything. And you can see the new curb they put in here. I'm going to watch out for cars here while I'm walking. They have new yellow lines in the road. There's another car. I'll get up here. I smell a skunk. I smell a skunk. Got another car headlights coming here. I'm gonna go up here. I'll walk up here on the back side of the curb so I don't get hit. There we go. Up ahead here, I'll cross the street. So I really hope I run into Chris. If you remember Chris from my woods walk, where he thought I was crazy for saying Trump was going to win. He said Trump was unhinged, he hated veterans. There's no way somebody like that's going to win, he said. Well, you're a victim, fella. You are a victim of media propaganda. You need to fix your crap and stop relying on the media for your information, because they lie to you for politics. They're a bunch of liars. Huh. I just heard something in the leaves here. I heard something in the leaves. I'll go up here in the driveway because somebody's driving too fast. They saw me at the last minute because of my flashlight, and they zippity-doo-died off to the side. I'm going to cross over here. We'll see if we see any deer tonight. It's the only section of my walk here where I need a flashlight. We have an apple tree here. A few apples up here. Sure the animals would like some apples. Those apples will fall off the tree eventually. I don't see any eyeballs out in the field staring at me. So Don't see any eyeballs out in the field. Nope. Nothing. That's too bad. Usually I see eyeballs out here. Well, folks, this has probably been one of the most memorable elections I've ever watched, followed, participated in. Feeling my vote going to work this week. Feels good. It didn't take long. Trump is such a powerful leader and persuader that all these other countries are excited. They're very happy that real leadership in America is back. I've been following a lot of stuff on the internet from people that live in Germany especially. They are absolutely distraught. They're very upset. The Ukraine war is draining their economy. They can't afford heating fuel. They can't afford to eat. Their economy's been destroyed in Germany. And they are very happy that Trump got elected. I saw a lot of rhetoric from Germans online rooting for Trump, hoping he won, because they said, what's going on over there in America? We need some sane leadership. And they wanted Trump. So unfortunately, the libtards here didn't get the memo. And, you know, the media built up this whole thing about Trump to ridiculous levels that now, how are they going to climb out of it? They got a whole bunch of wounded people who think Trump is Hitler and he won. And, you know, talk about mixed messaging. You know, you had Trump winning the election, and you had I know that noise. So, got a whole bunch of mixed messaging. You had Biden coming out saying that Trump was a fascist. You know, if he wins, you're going to lose your rights and Constitution, and he's going to destroy democracy. And then after Trump wins, Biden comes out and says, oh, okay, well, peaceful transfer of power. Trump won, let's just move on. So these young people have to be absolutely pissed off at Biden and Kamala for filling their head full of that shit. And then when Trump actually wins, they change their tune. Because they understand that if they don't, they're not going to win any more elections for a long time to come. So, if there's any just desserts in the world, the Republicans will win the House. And they're expected to have extra seats above what they need. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't count on anything till it happens. Like I told you on my walks, I knew Trump was going to win, but I did not count on it. I said they'll win. He'll win if it's fair, and if he wins at a level where it gets to the certain point where it's too big to rig it. Too big to rig. They couldn't cheat. All right, so put these down for a minute here. I'm gonna turn off my flashlight now. All right, there we go. I'm all situated now. I'm all situated. So guys, I mean, cripes, we did it, right? Really the bottom line. I was looking at my analytics, and my videos before the election were starting to get a lot more views. And I was tagging my videos with the election, Trump, this and that. So These videos have gotten a lot more views than I'm used to, which is always good. But not too many people leave comments. I've gotten a few likes, but my analytics tell me that people have come by to watch them anyway. Most people don't click like or do anything. They just watch the videos and then they leave. So if you're one of those, click like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. It helps with the algorithm. It'll promote my channel. And I'm not monetized. I don't make money from it. So be generous, please. So anyway, I really hope you like the content on the channel between the firearms and walking. I did promise to do some more vinyl albums. I've not done that. My apologies. There's only so much time in a day. We had an election to win, and we'll see what happens now that things may calm down. And I definitely have a difficult time making vinyl videos unless it's new acquisitions, because of the copyright strikes that YouTube does. I can't play the record while I'm talking and talk about the record, so it makes it difficult. It really does. Some bands I can and some I can't. So I remember a day when a band would make an album and their goal was to have millions of people listen to it, and they didn't care so much about the other stuff. And now it's all about, you know, compensation or money, copyrights, and BMI. So anyway, I'll see what I can do. I'll look into it. I would have to make a video, make a link to an official sanctioned by that band place to buy that particular album, have a link to it. I'd have the list who owns the copyrights on it, and I think I could do it that way. But you know, if I'm making a video that has 12 albums, you know, I'm not going to sit there all day doing that, and that's unfortunate. I would be able to show the albums without listening to them, though. That might be what I'll have to do. But I definitely have a lot of cool stuff. I got a lot of rare stuff. I've got thousands of vinyl records, and I do have a handful of videos. One of them is a brief tour of part of my collection, which has hundreds of records in it, as kind of an intro to what I wanted to do. So I'll get cracking on that. But anyway, I wanted to say, I'll put this around, and I just wanted to say thank you very much for watching regardless, and click like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the conversation tonight. It's a conversation of victory, man. It's victory. This was so awesome. I mean, seriously, what a great moment in American history. And we have a president that got shot in the face. Second assassination attempt after that. All the lawfare tried to lock him up, charge him with treason and all kinds of stuff, insurrection. How many people would ever survive any of that? Ever? I mean, seriously survive like Trump has. Donald J. fucking Trump. I mean, come on. And you know, again, excuse my French, but I really make it a point not to use a lot of profanity, but this has been such a big deal. I'm just being normal. I'm being myself. And I hope it's okay. But I mean, we're never going to see anybody like him again, ever. And if he drops dead tomorrow, that would be really terrible. If he had a stroke and died, or a heart attack, But there are protocols in place. He's the president-elect. It would be the vice president-elect would be the president-elect. Congress would pick a successor for vice president. And so we're good. We're good either way. So God bless America. Thank you for walking with me and listening to my babble and my banter. And be good to one another. We need a time of unity, okay? These fools that are angry and upset, you know, God's about forgiveness, and you know, we got to cut them some slack. They've been brainwashed by evil people. Now, on the other hand, the media and some of these establishment Democrats, they should not be forgiven. It is sedition, seditious behavior, treason, whatever you want to call it. The media abusing the First Amendment, I will never forgive them for that. And they're suffering for it, and it's righteous. It's righteous that they do. So anyway, until the next walk, God bless you. Thank you for walking with me. Love you guys very much. It really means a lot when you leave comments and tell me things. I read everything. And thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next walk, friends. God bless you and your family. And thank you for voting for Donald J. effing Trump. Talk to you soon, folks.